I see a bunch of people still joining, so let's give it another minute before we kick off. Alrighty, I think we're good to get started. I'm sure a couple more people will continue trickling in. But thank you everyone for being here today to talk about the Future Collective for Black-owned businesses presented by Fiverr. I'm personally super excited about this program. My name is Colette Bloom. I am a senior brand manager here at Fiverr. We're going to hear from a couple of different people today. We're going to hear from Brent Messner, who is our VP of Community and Public Policy here at Fiverr. We're going to hear from Stacey Gillian. She is the co-founder of a company called Maestra. And we're going to hear from Danny Wright, who's the CEO of 1863 Ventures. But just to kick things off, I'm going to tell you all a little bit first about Fiverr. I think this should not be news to anybody since you're all already wonderful community members here at Fiverr. But as you all know, Fiverr is a global marketplace that connects freelancers and businesses for digital services, and we change how the world works together. We operate in over 160 countries with about 3.4 million customers using the platform all over the world. And we have over 500 categories of digital services. So let's talk a little bit about the Future Collective. Our mission is to support 5 Black-owned businesses as they maximize their potential into growth and real results. We'll be doing this through $18,000 in cash funding and $6,000 in Fiverr credit, mentorship, and other exclusive resources that we'll talk about in a little bit. But, you know, we really feel strongly that Fiverr, as a successful platform for freelance professional services, is in a really unique position in being able to provide resources that businesses need to succeed. And this is really a way for us to bring our brand purpose to life. Our community, that's all of you people, wonderful, really passionate creators and entrepreneurs from all background. And in doing a lot of the research in putting this program together, we learned time and time again that in general, Black entrepreneurs face financial hurdles, not only when beginning their businesses, but as they attempt to grow their businesses and navigate financial spaces that don't typically provide access to these Black entrepreneurs. In fact, one statistic that I found really interesting is that Black entrepreneurs are 10% more likely to apply for financial startup assistance than their white counterparts, but they're 19% less likely to be approved. So, over the past year, in the pandemic and given, social justice movements around the world, and particularly in the US, we've seen a lot of changes in the ways that people do business and in the ways that people relate to one another. And we at Fiverr feel that it's really important that we're not just voicing our support for the cause, but it's also our responsibility to use our platform and our resources in pursuit of our brand purpose. And our brand purpose is to create opportunities for anyone in the world to build their business, brand, or dreams. So with that, I want to throw it over to Brent, who is our VP of Community and Public Policy. Ooh, Brent, you're on mute.
Great, thanks. Hey everybody, I'm Brent. I just wanted to drill down a little bit on purpose. As Colette was saying, our purpose is to create opportunities for anyone to build their business, brand, dreams. But on the community team, and I should say that this purpose touches every aspect of everything Fiverr does. I mean, every team at the company thinks about this, but the way the community team looks at it specifically is that we think it's not really enough just to create the opportunity, that creating a great website or a great mobile app, great user experience is not where it should end. If we really mean creating opportunities for anyone, we have to look at knocking down barriers for people who might not have access to the opportunity. So marginalized communities and so on are people who maybe have not had access to the opportunity of freelancing or the opportunity of Fiverr. So once we find ways to identify those groups and engage with those groups, training and mentorship to them. And then, of course, on the policy side of what I do, we're thinking about things like access to broadband, access to startup capital, and a lot of kinds of things that we'll be talking about today. So that's part of the community team's mandate, and that's why I'm super excited to be able to be involved today. Over to you, Stacy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Gillian, the co-founder of Maestra. My partner, Giara Ballinger, and I founded the company a few years back, and we are completely focused on business strategy and helping to expand the horizons of inclusion, equity, and community for all of the brands that we touch. We really look at storytelling and brand consciousness alongside talent and finding great collaborators, which I think we have here. This group of individuals, we're very excited about the Fiverr Fellowship and helping small businesses sort of along their journey. We noticed that there's about $130 billion in VC funding that goes to companies, yet only 2% of that towards women-founded companies, and less than 1% of total funding was allocated toward businesses founded by women of color like ours. So we believe that through this fellowship, we can really help support all of these young businesses and push forward of your work. They're to Danny.
Hi, everyone. Danny Wright here, CEO of 1863 Ventures. Excited to be here with you all and working with everyone here. 1863 Ventures is a business accelerator focusing on new majority entrepreneurs. We do this work because, we know entrepreneurs of color are the fastest growing segment of new businesses, but we are the most overlooked and underinvested. Even though 1863 Ventures was founded 5 years ago, we've supported over 3,000 entrepreneurs. And during COVID alone, we maintained a 93% survival rate for our businesses, more than 50% of the national average. On average, our businesses create about 1,000 new jobs each year, and over 30% secure capital annually. Can we go to the next slide? So here we see, we're excited to work with the Fiverr cohort. Our business model is threefold: content, cohort, and capital. We provide curated content based on individual business needs through culturally competent and contextual technical assistance. We also provide one-on-one coaching for all of our members to sustain their success over time. And then we support our cohorts as entrepreneurship as a team sport. It allows our entrepreneurs to learn from one another and expand their social capital. And then lastly, we have a fund that invests in our program graduates. It's a competitive process for debt and equity investments, but we make sure that entrepreneurs have access to capital. Your journey with us will include an assessment of your business to learn more about you, your goals, and your desired outcomes. You'll have access to key trainings that will help better position your business for growth and scale. Our cohort engagements with one another will give everyone a chance to meet other successful entrepreneurs. And we'll also provide coaching for ongoing support up to a year for everyone. So we look forward to working with you all. We look forward to helping you. We look forward to helping your business grow. And we're excited to invite you into our community and our family. Thank you. Passing it back to the Fiverr team.
Thanks so much, Danny. Yeah, I think you guys can all hear and see we're excited about this program. We're really excited to be partnering with 1863 and with Maestra on this. So I want to get into the potatoes a little bit and tell everyone about the fellowship program. So as you all have probably seen by now, we launched the application a week or two ago for the fellowship program. The application is now open from now until July 12th, and we will make sure to put up the URL at the end so that everyone can see where to ask the applications. So the application is pretty detailed. We're going to ask you all to fill out, if you're interested and if you meet sort of the eligibility criteria, to fill out some information about your business, why it was founded, the history, and sort of like where you are right now in your journey and your growth. And then we'll be selecting a group of 5 businesses owned and led by Black entrepreneurs. And in addition to receiving credits and monetary support, all the businesses that are selected for the program will receive mentorship and access to a network of other entrepreneurs. You'll have chances to network with the other selected businesses. And you'll also get a chance to work really closely with our customer success team. So our customer success team at Fiverr will help you to select sellers for your, for the specific projects and initiatives that you're working on, and help also provide some project management as you navigate the program process. We're going to be evaluating the applications on 3 key areas. Number 1, the purpose. So what is the driving inspiration fueling your business's vision? What is the impact that you hope to achieve both for your customers and for your broader community? I want to clarify that does not mean that your business has to be in some way, community service oriented or a nonprofit, although those businesses obviously are still eligible, but we just really want to understand like what the inspiration is for your business. Number 2 is originality. So how does your business differentiated within your industry? How is it disrupting your industry? What is unique about your business from other, maybe competitors or existing companies in the space? And then, of course, what is your business plan? So how this program going to help your business grow? How do you envision using this funding? How can we at Fiverr and 1863 Maestra help you to achieve your goals? So in terms of what you're actually going to receive as a participant in this program, there is a total award of $24,000, which is split between $18,000 in cash that you will be able to put towards your business and various overhead, as well as $6,000 in Fiverr credit that can only be used on Fiverr, purchase digital freelance services that can be anything from, marketing, SEO, to designing a new logo, to building a new website. In addition to the credits and the cash, you'll receive mentorship and coaching from the 1863 team, an advising session with the Fiverr executive team. As I mentioned, you'll also receive dedicated CSM customer success support from Fiverr, and ad hoc consulting with various Fiverr teams. And then we'll also be promoting the businesses on our own Fiverr channels. So sharing your story on social media, things like that. So in terms of like sort of a rough timeline, the application is open, as I mentioned, from now until July 12th at 11:59 p.m. So there is definitely still time to submit your application. If take your time, you've got time. And then in August, we'll be notifying the 5 businesses that have been selected to participate in the program. And then we'll be actually kicking off the funding and the programming in September of 2021. And throughout the program, we're gonna check in with you. We're not gonna leave you hanging. So we'll be developing social media content, other forms of content that we can share on the Fiverr channels. And the program will run for about 6 months. So in March of 2022, there will be a final presentation where the selected businesses will get to share their progress and share what they've accomplished throughout the program. And that's really sort of it. That's the overview of the program. I'm going to open it up to questions. If anybody has any questions that they want to share, I'm going to stop sharing for a second just so that I can look at what's coming in the Q&A box. But if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to submit in the Q&A box, and we will answer as best we can. I guess let's start with one question that I've seen a couple times come in. Danny, maybe you want to hop back on and tell everybody about the origin of the name 1863.
Sure. So 1863 stands for the date of the Emancipation Proclamation. 1863 Ventures, we speak to the new majority community, really debunking the term minority as it's been used as a term or characteristic as lesser. And so, with everything we do, we've been intentional about to build our brand. And so 1863 resembles the day slaves were technically free by the Emancipation Proclamation, and we continue to push forward to create equity, for our community and for our entrepreneurs.
Thanks, Danny. Another question that I saw come in the chat is whether or not these programs are free. Yes, this program is free. There's no cost to participate in the Future Collective. All you have to do is fill out an application. There are some eligibility criteria that you can see on the landing page. So for instance, you have purchased at least 3 services on Fiverr in the past in order to be eligible. And we did this because we really want to, honor our community. We know that there are so many wonderful community members who have been so loyal to Fiverr and who really rely on Fiverr to grow their businesses. So that really, it's important to us that it's really important to us that we start at home with our own community. So yeah. Looking through, please, I see a lot of questions coming in, so please continue to feel free to ask. One question that I saw come in is if your company is formed yet and doesn't, if you don't have any revenue yet, are you still eligible? Can you just be starting out? I want to get the language right on this, but your business does need to be incorporated and in operation. So I believe if you don't have revenue yet, I believe that is fine. I'm also going to put back on the screen the website where you can, oh, this is not it. Sorry, I'm going to put back up the landing page for the applications so that everybody can access the Q&A section. Can we share the deck with participants after the presentation? I don't actually know. That's a great question. I believe we are recording this, so I believe we'll be able to share this afterwards. Do you have to be a US citizen? Your business needs to be based in the US. So your business needs to be established and incorporated in the United States in order to be eligible for the program. How many applicants will be accepted? There will be 5 businesses selected to participate in the program in total. So there's no limit on how many people can apply. You can only apply once per business, but we will be selecting 5 businesses in total to participate in the program. What does it mean to be a member of Fiverr? That's a great question. I might have sort of covered this a little bit, but in order to be a member of Fiverr, you need to be enrolled with a Fiverr account, Fiverr username, and for this program in particular, you need to have purchased in the past at least 3 gigs on Fiverr. So, it doesn't matter what those gigs are, but you should have you need to have purchased at least 3 gigs on Fiverr. Is this open to UK applicants? Again, this is unfortunately only open for US-based businesses. We're hopeful that in future years, we'll be able to expand this program to other markets, but this is, a first-year program. So starting this year just in the US for a variety of reasons. Does the business need to be a service that can be offered on Fiverr? That is actually a really great question. The answer is no, it does not. The business can be a physical business, whether you have a store, a bakery, a clothing company that you run out of your apartment, what have you. There isn't really any guidelines on what type of business that you need to be. But this is not like, just to clarify, this is not meant like specifically for Fiverr sellers who are selling digital freelance services. So no, you do not need to offer your services on Fiverr in order to be eligible for the program. Can we give tips on the type of businesses we are looking for and tips on filling out a great application? I really love this question, actually. I think really we just want to know what makes you tick, what the inspiration is for your business. I think I shared earlier what the main criteria are that we're judging these businesses on. How original your business is, how what the inspiration is for your business, and what your originality, your business plan, and sorry, I'm getting nervous, and your purpose. So yeah. So that's really like, my number one piece of advice would be to make sure that, you're telling us your story in your own words and sharing your inspiration. And I think those applications will stand out best of all. So yeah. I'm also putting back up here, just as a reminder, where you can access the application page. And on the application page, you'll find FAQs and T's and C's. So you can learn more about the specifics of who is eligible for the program. You'll also see the Maestra website as well as the 1863 website, so you can learn more. I will also say, if anybody has any questions that they are, following this session that they want to follow up with, you feel free to email us at futurecollective@fiverr.com. And yeah, feel free to ask more questions there. I'm just looking through the chat and seeing any other questions that are coming in. One question that came in: are businesses that are not selected notified? Unfortunately, due to the high volume of questions that are coming in, we are not going to be able to notify all the businesses that are not selected. But we encourage you guys to continue to follow along, because we'll be, hopefully developing more programs in the future. And of course, to follow along with our wonderful partners, Maestra and 1863, because they have amazing resources available as well. So yeah, the answer to the question is unfortunately no, we will not be able to notify everybody, but feel free to continue to reach out and follow along with us, and tell us about other ways that we can support you. I was asked to clarify for digital services. So if you have a digital-based business, you're definitely still eligible. The point that I was trying to make was that this is not, the point of this program is not just to be open to Fiverr sellers. So it's not only for digital services, we can support physical businesses as well as part of this program. What is the earliest date that a winner would be notified, and how soon would they receive funds? Another great question. So like I mentioned, we're going to be notifying the winners sometime around August, mid to late August. And that we'll be contacting the five participating businesses directly for that. And then we'll make a public announcement at some point in September to the broader community of who those businesses are that were selected. So all of the businesses will be announced publicly. So at that point, everyone, I think, will know who the businesses are that were selected. just looking through the questions. Everyone, again, feel free to continue to ask any questions that you have. I will do my best to answer them. Here's a really great question that I love. As a new freelancer on Fiverr, how can I support the mission? How can I support the Future Collective? I really love this question. I would encourage you to please email futurecollective@fiverr.com. And that email can also be found on the Future Collective landing page. And we'll find a way to sort of make sure that any freelancers who are interested in supporting program and supporting the participating businesses have the opportunity to, help support the businesses and provide services to these businesses. I'm seeing a lot of questions about specific types of businesses, and I am not able to answer all of those questions. The answer is essentially that pretty much all of these types of businesses are eligible, whether it's a physical product that you're selling, whether it's, travel services. I think all of these businesses are eligible. The only restrictions are listed on the site in the Q section. The $18 in cash is more like a grant. So it's not something that needs to be paid back, and it doesn't lead to Fiverr having equity in the business. It's a really important question. So thank you, Tiffany, for asking it. That is correct. Fiverr is not establishing a stake in your business with this grant. It is a grant. So you are not expected to pay back $18,000. It is money that is being put towards your business. Obviously, the money is meant to be used towards your business, but yes, there's no expectation that you will pay back the grant at the end of the program. Is this a program that would be offered every year? We are hopeful. This is the first year, so our plan is to create an annual initiative. We are obviously learning as we go with this program, so more to come on that. Just looking at more questions. How long does the business have to be in operation to qualify? That's a great question. I don't know if Danny or someone from Team Maestra wants to weigh in on this question.
Can you repeat that?
The question was how long the business has to be in operation to qualify.
Well, because the businesses just need to be operational, I don't think we set a specific time limit. A specific period of time on that. Mm-hmm. I think that it just matters that you are incorporated, you have a succinct business model, and a revenue strategy.
Thanks, Danny. And can you also, there's questions coming in about LLCs versus sole proprietorship. Can you, I think correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're a little more familiar with the jargon than I am, but if you are an LLC or established as a sole proprietor, are you eligible for this?
If you're a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, then yes, but you do have to be incorporated. So individuals that are just contracting as 1099s but aren't necessarily incorporated in their state, they aren't qualified or eligible for the program. You do have to be incorporated.
Thanks, Danny. So, I've seen a few questions come into that regard. So hopefully that answers the question. But yes, if you are incorporated as an LLC or incorporated as a sole proprietor, then you are eligible. If selected, must the businesses be identified throughout the continuing winners process, or can they remain anonymous? That's a really great question. Thank you for answering it, for asking it. We are going to be asking participants to, participate in some public-facing opportunities. We'll be, we're really excited about this program. We're really proud, and we want to share it with our community, and we want to share it with the world. So there will be some opportunity for social media, potentially some participation in press. So unfortunately, it is not an anonymous participation, but best of luck. Are nonprofits eligible? Yes, nonprofits are eligible. That's a yes or no question. Danny, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to come back on because we got Jacqueline, I hope I'm saying that right, asked a clarifying question. Our sole proprietors are not incorporated. It is a license in California. Can you clarify that at all?
I'm not specifically sure about the eligibility around that one specifically.
Okay.
But if I guess if sole proprietors are considered businesses in California, then we can look at that state by state basis.
Great. So if anybody has any questions specifically that are not being answered, please feel free to reach out to futurecollective@fiverr.com. I saw a question that I want to clarify, that the $18,000 is per business. It is not combined across all the businesses. So each business will receive individually $18,000 in cash and $6,000 in Fiverr credit. So it is $24,000 per business. I am doing my best to answer all of the questions as I'm seeing them come in, so please bear with me. I think again, when applicants will be notified in August, mid to late August, and announced in September. Do we require the actual business plan or the story behind the business plan? That's another really great question. So I think really, if you have a business plan, it's great if you can share that with us. I recommend it. I think it will, it helps us to understand and get a full picture of your business. But really, we want to hear your full story. So I encourage everyone to share as much as they feel comfortable. Yeah. Great question about Fiverr accounts. It does not have to be a Fiverr business account. For anyone on this call who is not familiar, we have recently launched a new product at Fiverr called Fiverr Business, which is geared towards larger teams. But you can have a regular Fiverr account and still be eligible for this program. It is not mandatory to have a Fiverr business account in order to be eligible. The only eligibility criteria in terms of your Fiverr account is that you have placed at least 3 orders for Fiverr services in the past. Just going through, again, it is free to participate in this program. There is no cost associated with applying or participating. And also, if not selected, will there be other programs like this? We are working on our team to establish programs like this in the future. I will also plug Brent and the wonderful community team here at Fiverr. There are lots of great resources and events So I encourage you all to check out the Fiverr community team to learn more as well, both from Fiverr and, visit any of the sites that I'm sharing on screen right now to hear more about Maestra, about 1863, and the programs that they provide to their communities as well. I'm just looking through at some of the questions that are coming in, so bear with me. If I win, can I get 100% of the funds in cash? Unfortunately, no. As part of this program, some of the grant will be in Fiverr credits, so that's quarter of the credits will be in Fiverr credits. So it's $18,000 in cash and $6,000 in Fiverr credits. Is there a cutoff to purchase your services prior to application? That's a really great question. There isn't one, but yeah, so as long as you have purchased 3 gigs on Fiverr, you are eligible to enroll in this program. When will we roll the program beyond the United States? It's a great question. We unfortunately do not have that timeline set at this point. Right now, we are focusing on making this first year of the program as successful as possible for our businesses that we will be selecting. But until then, stay tuned. Here's a great question about the time commitment. There will be, the program is going to last about 6 months, and there will be a minimum of like 1 mentorship session or group session a month, plus, other ad hoc meetings, whether it's with Fiverr support or, the Fiverr executive team. So, that's also in addition to whatever, sort of work that you're doing with Fiverr and with the funding that you are receiving. What will Fiverr take back after this grant? So again, I will clarify that there is no expectation of repayment. This is a grant, so you will not be expected. It's not a loan. We're not expecting anybody to pay back the grant at the end of the program. Is there a question on the application form about how we would use the money? Yes, there is a question on the application form where you can say how you plan to use this grant money. And I encourage you to definitely give thought to that question. I think it's to me, as some of the applications have been coming in, I found it really, really valuable to see sort of the vision for, how people are planning to use this grant money. If you have more questions about your Fiverr account and would you like to ask off camera, you can email futurecollective@fiverr.com. So again, it's futurecollective@fiverr.com, and somebody will answer any specific questions that you have that come in. We're doing our best to answer all of these questions as they come in live right now, but feel free to reach out with any specific questions that you have and that you need answered. Where can you apply for this program and to read more? Fiverr.com/futurecollective. Please visit the URL on screen where you can access the application and read a lot more about eligibility in more detail. There's a pretty robust FAQ section where probably many of the questions that are coming in might be answered. But yeah, Fiverr.com/futurecollective. I'm watching the clock. We're going to answer a couple more questions here if anybody has anything specific that they want to ask. Danny, another question coming in for you and 1863. Are the services provided by 1863 free to use, and can anyone in the US use 1863 services?
Yes.
pretty
Anyone can use our services.
great.
And they are free.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. I think we're running out of time here, but you know, I know that there are a lot of questions that have come in here. I'm sure many questions people still have as they're going through their applications. If your question was not answered here today, please feel free to ask over email. Again, that email is futurecollective@fiverr.com. And we'll share this recording with this group. But really, I think the best resource by far is to visit fiverr.com/futurecollective, and you'll be able to see the application and FAQs, T's and C's, eligibility, everything that you need will be on this website. So again, thank you all so much for coming today. We're super excited about this program. We're super excited to see all of your amazing applications and hear the amazing and inspiring stories of your businesses. And we look forward to sharing more soon. So thank you everybody for joining, and have a great day.